Yeah, good morning, students, and welcome back to the chapter that is human health and diseases. And in my previous video, I have already talked about some of the pathogens and the diseases caused by these pathogens, and I have dealt up with the bacterial diseases. The bacterial diseases includes the pneumonia as well as typhoid, and I have already discussed with you all the causative agents of these diseases as well as the symptoms and what are the measures that how can we prevent these diseases. Then talking about the viral diseases, I have talked about the common cold over there. Then talking about the protozoan diseases, that is the protozoan parasites, I have talked about the malaria disease over there. So now again proceeding up further with the diseases that are caused by protozoans, we are just going to deal up with another protozoan parasite, that is Entamoeba histolytica. So it is a protozoan parasite. So when we are dealing up over this, it is ant amoeba histolytica. And when we are dealing up with this particular organism, it is responsible for amoebiasis, which is commonly known as amoebic dysentery. It deals up with amoebiasis, or it is the causative agent of amoebiasis, and which is also known as amoebic dysentery. Okay, so this is Entamoeba histolytica. Clear? Now further when we are moving ahead, the symptoms of this disease. Symptoms of this disease is constipation, okay, then what to say, abdominal pain, and along with abdominal pain, what to say, discharge of mucus and blood clots, along with fecus. Clear? All and all are these the symptoms of this disease. That is, the symptoms are constipation, abdominal pain, discharge of the mucus and blood clots, along with the what to say, fecus. Clear? So these are what to say, the various symptoms of this particular disease. Now mode of transmission of this disease. Mode of transmission or propagating. This disease gets transmitted by contaminated water and food. Okay, so what happens over here in this particular type of disease, that when an this disease, it is transmitted by the fecus of the infected person, and through the fecus this infection is spread out into the water and the food. Clear? And through the water and the food, it is again entered into the healthy person. Clear? So this disease is what to say, the mode of transmission of this disease is through the infected food and or contaminated food and water. Clear? Next disease that we are going to proceed on is by what to say, helminths. Next category is helminths. And in helminths, we are just going to deal up, the very first is Ascaris lumbricoid. It's a very important what to say organism, since it is given in the practical of your 12th class biology. Clear? So when we are dealing up with Ascaris lumbricoid, the disease caused by this particular organism is Ascariasis. Clear? It is known as Ascariasis, and the symptoms of this disease, symptoms includes what to say, muscular pain, anemia, okay, then intestinal blockage. These are the main symptoms of the disease. That is, it leads to the muscular pain. Clear? Along with that, anemia and intestinal blockage. These are the main symptoms of this particular disease. Clear? Now, when we are talking about the mode of transmission of this disease, so when we are talking about the mode of transmission, that is, whenever the eggs of this particular organism, it is laid up along with the feces of the infected person, then it contaminates the water, and through the water it is entered into the food chain, and through the food chain then it enters into the healthy person, and thus this is the mode of transmission from that, how a healthy person gets infected through the what to say, this particular what to say, organism. So next, the disease that we are going to talk about is the next disease that we are going to talk about is next organism, that is Wuchereria bancrofti. The other species of this is Wuchereria malayi. Okay, and both of these are the causative agents of a disease which is known as elephantiasis. Clear? Wuchereria bancrofti or Wuchereria malayi, these are the causative agent of elephantiasis. Or we can say it is also known as filariasis. Clear? So this is the name of the disease that is found in this particular disease. It is very common in the African continent. Getting my words? And what are the symptoms? As the name suggests, elephantiasis यानी हिंदी में इसको बोलते हैं हम हाथी पाँव मतलब जो लोअर लिम्स हैं, लोअर आपका जो एब्डोमिनल रीजन है, क्लियर, वो जो है हद से ज़्यादा स्वेल अप हो जाता है. Getting my words? It leads to the swelling of the lower of the lymphatic vessels or the lymphatic regions of the lower limbs, plus including the genital organs, and it is what to say, eventually going to lead to the death of the person. Clear? So here the person, it becomes unable for the person to move up here and there, and eventually the size of the limbs as well as the genital organ, they go on increasing. Clear? Getting my words? So that are the symptoms of this particular disease. So when we are talking about Wuchereria bancrofti, it is very common in African continent. Clear? Now talking about further on about this disease, symptoms. The symptoms of this disease are, first, that is, it leads to swelling up of lymphatic vessels of the lower limbs, including the genital organs. Clear? Including the genital organs. So this is what to say, and basically the person is unable to move of time and eventually dies off. Clear? So these are the symptoms of this very particular disease. Then there is a vector. Clear? There is a vector. There is a vector which is known as female mosquito vector, which is quite responsible for spreading of this very particular disease. Clear? It is a very common disease in the African continent, though it is not very much visible in India, but still we are having cases in India also. Clear? But it is very commonly seen in the African countries. Getting my words? Now the next disease that we are going to move ahead is the fungi. Clear? Is are dealing up with the group of the fungi. Fungi. Okay, when we are talking about this group is basically responsible for causing skin lesions, skin allergies, itchings, etc., etc. Clear? And the very causative agents of this groups are trichoderma and microsporum. Clear? Microsporum and trichophyton. Clear? So when we are talking about this particular disease, they are basically responsible for causing skin lesions and ringworms, basically ringworms. So the disease caused by them is ringworms. Clear? Symptoms are dry, scaly lesions in what to say, scalp, nails and skin. Clear? Then these lead to intense itching. Okay. Further, their growth is enhanced by temperature and moisture. Clear? Then these are present, temperature and the moisture. These grow intensively in the skin folds, that is the groin and between the toes. Clear? So these are the symptoms of ringworms. That what are the symptoms? These include dry scaly lesions. Clear? In the scalp region, in the nail regions, and even in the skin regions. That is very, very common. You can see in cases of the ringworms. Clear? Then these lead to intense itching. Clear? They are having an effect of itching, and the person feels the itching effect. Clear? Then further, their growth is enhanced by temperature and moisture. If a suitable temperature and moisture is provided to these fungi, they propagate themselves. They grow in a proportionate manner, and accordingly they increase their area of infection. Clear? Then these grow intensively in the skin folds between the groin and between the toe regions. Clear? So this is all about the diseases that are caused by the fungi. So we have completed every pathogen, the disease caused by every pathogen. That is, we have completed of the diseases that are caused by bacteria. Again, revising, the bacterial diseases are typhoid and pneumonia, that is given in your book. Then another group of pathogen is viruses, and we have done common cold. Of course, HIV is also included, but it is given in the later portion of the chapter. Therefore, I am just going to discuss in detail over there. And then the third category is protozoan parasites, and we have discussed in detail the Plasmodium parasite, which is the causative agent of malaria, and another is Entamoeba histolytica, which is the causative agent of amoebiasis. Clear? Next disease that we have, next pathogen that we have talked about is of course, Entamoeba. Next is that we have talked about is helminths. Helminths, I have talked about the Ascaris and Buchereria. Ascaris is responsible for ascariasis. It is included in your practical syllabus also. Even Entamoeba histolytica is included in your syllabus. And then talking about the next is Buchereria bancrofti, that is very much responsible for causing elephantiasis or filariasis. Getting my words? Then moving up next on forward to is the last is fungi. In fungi we have seen Microsporum and Trichophyton, which are responsible for causing ringworms, and we have dealt up in detail what are the symptoms of ringworms. Clear? So accordingly we have dealt up in detail of all the pathogenic organisms and what are the mode of their spreading of these organisms. Clear? Now we are just going to talk about the preventive measures of this disease. Clear? And when we are talking about the preventive measures of this disease, it includes hygiene both at the personal level as well as the public level. Okay, so when we are just going to talk about the preventive measure, how can we prevent these diseases from getting spreaded on, we can categorize the preventive measures as so when we are talking about the preventive measures they can be categorized into public as well as personal hygiene. It includes hygiene practice. Basically, it includes hygiene practice, and hygiene practice it is again divided into two. That is the personal hygiene and public hygiene. So when I am dealing up with personal hygiene, it includes regular bathing, regular washing up your hands before taking up your meals, regular brushing up your teeth, regular cutting up your nails, regular washing up your clothes, etc., etc. All are these the personal hygiene habits. And covering up the food while it is kept over, so that the spread of the diseases which are spread up by the houseflies or the mosquitoes, they can be prevented of. Clear? So these are all included in your personal hygiene methods. It is very well given in your paragraph of the book that how can we divide the personal hygiene as well as the public hygiene, and it is very well written that maintenance of the personal and the public hygiene is very important for prevention and control of many infectious diseases. That is, measures for personal hygiene includes the keeping the body clean. Clear? Consumption of clean drinking water and food, vegetables, etc. That is already I've told you all over there. Then public hygiene includes the proper disposal of the excretory material as well as the waste material. Clear? You should properly dispose of the excretory material as the waste material. Then what to say, again keeping your surroundings clean, that is again included in the public hygiene methods. Clear? These are all the methods which are used to prevent the diseases that are spread out by certain of the vectors like houseflies and the what to say, mosquitoes. Basically the houseflies which contaminates the food and the water. Clear? So in particular diseases like amoebiasis, typhoid, okay, and we should practice all the type of the hygienic practices while trying to prevent these particular diseases. Clear? Now talking about the diseases that are caused by or the diseases that are airborne diseases like pneumonia and common cold. When we are dealing up with the diseases that are what to say, dealing up with airborne which are airborne in nature, so accordingly we can use these personal and public hygienic methods. Clear? And when we are talking about these diseases further on, we should when we are sneezing or when we are coughing, we should put our hands on the mouth, or we should use a kerchief or what to say of tissues, etc., etc. Then proper disposal of the tissues or proper cleaning of the hankies, etc. Then what to say, the person which is healthy, it should prevent in being close contact to the infected person. And we should avoid using the articles like the doorknobs or the articles that belong to the infected person. Whatever the infected person is using, like the glass or the towels or such sort of the belongings which are very very personal to that infected person, we should avoid using them. Clear? So these are all the hygienic methods which should be what to say, practiced by a healthy person in order to avoid any sort of infection from the airborne diseases. As we all know that the airborne diseases, they are very well spread out since their aerosols or the droplets are present in the air. So we should be what to say, we should we should prevent from being in close contact with the infected person of the airborne diseases. Clear? Then further talking out of what to say, diseases like malaria, then not only malaria, chikungunya, dengue, etc. These type of the diseases which are born out which are caused due to protozoan parasites which survive or which thrives up in stagnant water. What should we do? That we should avoid the collection of the water at certain places like in the coolers, like in the ditches, etc. We should what to say, avoid stagnancy of the water, or we should treat the stagnant water by certain of the chemicals or insecticides which can kill of the protozoan parasites. Clear? We should clean off our coolers as well as the aquariums as well as whatever the pots and etc. which we are using, so that the larvas of the mosquitoes do not thrive up over there. Getting my words? Because as you all know that the larvas, they thrive up very well in the stagnant and the dirty water, and these very larvas, these are the vectors for carrying the causative agent of malaria, that is the plasmodium, from to a healthy person. Clear? Then after this we should use nets while we are sleeping, and the doors and the windows, they should be what to say, provided up with wire meshes, so that the entry of the mosquitoes can be avoided in our houses. Then accordingly we should clean up our water tanks, etc. regularly, and we should also use disinfectants in the water, that is the drinking water that we are using, so that the larvas can be very well killed off, and even the protozoan parasites, they can be very well killed off. Clear? Then we can use the biological agents like gambusia, the fish gambusia, which feeds upon the larva of the Anopheles mosquito. Clear? So that the further spreading up of the disease is prevented on. Clear? So these are all the preventive measures which we can use for various type of the diseases. as we have already talked about the diseases that spread through the contaminated food and the water. We have already talked about the diseases that are airborne and that what to say spread through the air and the contaminated articles, and even we have talked about the diseases that are spread out by the vectors. Clear? So these are all the what to say and of course the fungi. When we are talking about the fungal infections, we should avoid using the personal belongings of the infected person, like the towels, like the clothes and other such articles of the infected person, because there are chances increased which can infect a healthy person. Clear? So this is all about our personal and public hygienic methods by which we can avoid the disease, avoid the spread of these particular diseases. Okay, so now I am just going to talk about further advancement of the medical technology. And as we all know that vaccines has been developed for controlling what to say a large number of the diseases like smallpox, tetanus, diphtheria, polio, etc. And we have been very much successful in controlling these diseases. Clear? And further on, vaccines are being developed for various type of the diseases, so that these diseases can be very well cured off, and the further spread into the population can be checked on. Clear? So again, when we are talking about the biotechnology with its advancement, it is also in the verge of introducing newer and newer vaccine along with the large number of the antibiotics, by which we can check out these particular type of the diseases from spreading out into the population. Okay, accordingly, when we are talking about of course biotechnology only, it is also introducing varied methods by which we can have a check over the growth of these particular pathogenic organisms. Clear? So this is all about what to say this human health and hygienic methods by which we can what to say we can prevent the spread of the various diseases. So in this particular video and in my previous video, I have talked about all sorts of the diseases that are spread out by various types of the pathogenic organisms. Now in my next video, I am just going to deal up with immunity, types of immunity, etc., etc. And then we are just going to move further on with the rest portion of the chapter. Then regarding the homework, as I told you all that you should read up the chapter along with you, as well as you have to also make the notes of the chapter that are being given up on the online classes. Even I am just going to try out to give you some of the notes, but then it is going to become lengthier for you all to write everything over there from the mobile. That is the reason I am not giving you any of the what to say notes in detail over here in my messages. But still, if I am just going to get some of the PPTs, the notes in the PPT forms, then I would like to send you all. Then at that time, kindly have a look at those PPTs as well as my online video classes, so that you can gain something from these classes. Okay, and whatever is being taught in the online video classes, kindly have a glance of this, and accordingly read the content, related content in the given chapter. Everything is being taught from the NCERT, nothing is being taught from outside of the NCERT. And even I am not teaching the what to say deleted portions or the deduced portion that has been deduced from the NCERT book. Clear? So then everything is what to say clear to you all, I hope. Start doing all the homework, start making the notes, and of course I am just going to give you all the worksheet of this chapter in my next what to class. I am just going to what to say message you all my worksheet, and kindly do the worksheet separately in a separate heading. Okay, write the worksheet, chapter number, name of the chapter, chapter number, and then mention worksheet, and accordingly do the worksheet that is given to you all in the messages that that are given to you through the online classes. Clear? So that is all about my online video class, and now I am just ending on with my online video class, and next we are going to meet up with a new topic, that is immunity. Clear? So till then, read all the contents, view all my videos, and read all the contents. If there are any doubts and queries, then kindly ask me in my next upstreaming class. And when you are doing the the worksheet of my of mine, then kindly show it over there in my next upstreaming class. Till then, thank you.